Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the top 10 best small forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM, including gambling cards. Now, one thing I do want to add is that I'm not including GOAT cards or buyable invincibles. Sorry, packable invincibles, not buyable. There's no such thing as a buyable invincible. Packable invincibles that are in packs. So that means that at the small forward position, cards that are not included include GOAT Giannis, GOAT Bron, GOAT Larry Bird. All of these small forwards, including, I mean, really there isn't a ton of like invincible small forwards that would really get on this list regardless, but specifically GOAT Giannis, GOAT LeBron, not on this list at all. And that does kind of change the list a little bit. So keep that in mind. But I will say, I'm kind of surprised how many of these top guys are still non-gambling small forwards. We'll say, before we open the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's discuss. So, at number 10, got Larry Nance. This card is really good for a free card. I think him starting at number 10 is a very, very good indicator of this list being really solid and deep. Now, I will say it's very close together outside of number 1, who's far and away the best. It's not even close, but 2 through 10 is very close. So keep that in mind. If you disagree with the placement, that's okay. Well, I like this card a lot, man. He's got great size. He's an elite defender. Playmaking could be maybe slightly better, but he's a super solid shooter, great finisher, great stats and badges across the board, great size at 6'10", and a really good release, or very solid release as well. Maybe not an unbelievable release, but it is a good jump shot, no doubt about it. Sigs wise, I mean, pretty solid as well. Like overall, Larry Nance should not be slept on, and putting him number 10 at the small forward position is a great indicator of how deep this spot is, and I think he's a really great card. Number 9, unpopular opinion, I know, 100 overall Giannis. And this goes for regular dark matter Giannis, who can play small forward position as well. They're basically the same card. And yes, the stats and badges, as with any 100 overall, are basically perfect. There is only one thing that makes me put him at number 9, and that is just that I don't like his release. That's the honest truth. I just don't like his jumper very much. It's why a guy like Invincible KG, small forward eligible, isn't even on this list. As good of a card as Giannis is, his jumper is just not that good. And it does hold the card back. There's no doubt about it. Everything else about him is basically perfect. Yes, that's what puts him on the top 10 list at all. And if you want to put him higher, I get it. For me personally, the jumper is just too much of a deterrent for me to put him any higher than number 9. Number 8's going to be Mr. Kuzma. Does not have 2 U's in it, but there we go. Kyle Kuzma, who is literally the laziest card in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. 95 stats literally across the board, except for his shot IQ and intangibles, and for some reason, pass vision and IQ, which are both on 90. Everything else on the card is 95 bar none, and he's got every single important badge as well, which is really nice, pretty much, including even off handles for days. That's super nice to have. Jumper's really solid, but he is only 6'9". I don't know if that matters that much, but I think his jumper could be a little better. Even despite the fact that I do actually think it's a pretty good shot, I think it could still be a little bit better. Dribble sigs are very, very good. Hard and behind the back could maybe be better as Jamal, but still it's not bad at all. Very, very good card, but little teensy bit undersized is one slight critique, I guess. And then the other one would be that the jumper could be maybe just a teensy bit better. Like really good card, no doubt, but got to be nitpicky at this point in the year with these types of rankings. Number 7 is Mr. Shareef Abdul-Rahim. This card is very, very nice. Honestly, very similar to Kuzma, I feel like, in terms of better stats and badges slightly, but not by an insane amount, I wouldn't say. Release-wise, probably very similar to Kuzma's as well. Now, sigs-wise, also relatively similar, to be honest. He's got good sigs. I like the Shareef Abdul-Rahim card a lot. I did gameplay with him yesterday. Thought he was kind of a dog. And I would say it's pretty fair to put him at the number 6 spot on this list, number 7 spot on this list. Sorry. I feel like him and Kuzma are super close together, but I'd give Shareef the slight edge as an invincible. Number 6, Paolo Banchero, 100 overall. This card, I never did a gameplay on him, and I apologize for those of y'all who wanted to see a Paolo gameplay because I never got around to it. This card came out the day before I left town for 4th of July. But 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan, that type of size is valuable. He's like a better Larry Nance, basically. Really good sigs. Curry slide is not bad. Release is also very, very solid. Super great stats and badges, of course, across the board, including the off handles for days and everything else. Like really, really good card, no doubt about it. Definitely one of the best in the game, especially at the small forward position. And I think still, because the release could maybe be a teensy bit better, I will put him at the number 6 spot on the list. Number 5 is Tim Thomas. honestly, Tim Thomas's biggest flaw is just that the jumper is inconsistent more than anything else. It's not a bad jumper whatsoever. It's just not an exceedingly consistent jumper. And that's probably the only major flaw with this card, if there really is any major flaws, because stat and badge wise, he has not missed anything of importance. He's 6'10", super complete, super good card. That LaMelo base can be inconsistent though. It just can. That's the real, I know that's the only real critique for the card, and that's a good sign, but I mean, I can't put him any higher than number 5 just because I think these top tier guys are just a little better. And as good as he is, I just think the release is a bit inconsistent, and that is kind of annoying. Whereas a guy like James Worthy at number 4, jump shot feels a little more consistent, especially when you're open. Doesn't feel like you're going to get weird load ups that screw up your timing on your jumper, that type of stuff. He's similar in size, 2 inches shorter in the wingspan, an inch shorter technically of the height, but not a significant difference. Overall has slightly better stats and badges across the board. Really good release. SIGs are great. Like another top tier card. All these guys are top tier cards. I literally said between 2 and 10, it is basically pretty close to opinion. And as y'all can see, that is kind of proving to be the case already. Putting James Worthy at number 4 feels about right though. And I think that's where we're going to slot him in. Now, 2 of the top 3 are still non-gambling cards, which is a really good sign for the position. Tyrus Thomas at number 3 is a dog. He has the best release of any card in this list or one of the 2 best releases of any card in this list, I should say, with Ben Shepherd base, Kobe up around very quick, Pro 2 fade. Perfect SIGs pretty much besides the Luka moving Hezi, which prevents the same side Hezi from being nearly as effective unless you know how to do it properly. But I will say badge wise, absolutely exceptional, phenomenal release, super complete stats and badges, 6'9". Like he's a really, really great card. And I would take him over guys like Worthy and Tim Thomas, to be honest. So I feel like putting him number 3 is actually probably the right deserving spot for Tyrus Thomas. Number 2 would be Josh Smith. I do understand Josh Smith is missing one important badge, and that is the Handles for Days badge is not on Hall of Fame on him, which is kind of annoying. If you have half handles for days, put it on him. The reason that I put this card number 2 is because his release is, I like it better than Tyrus Thomas's. As good and fast as Tyrus's release is, I think that Josh Smith's is better and more consistent. Just an incredibly better release. Pro 2 fade, which also is obviously amazing. Perfect SIGs, of course, as well. He is pretty much perfection outside of that half handles for days badge, and I think he is an exceptional, exceptional card. But I will say, number 1 was probably the easiest that any number 1 is ever going to be. It's Bol Bol, who is only countered by GOAT Giannis in this game, but because GOAT and Invincibles are so rare, I didn't include them, like I said at the beginning of the video. But Bol Bol is far and away the best non-gambling, or the best gambling small forward in the game, especially if you're not including Giannis, and it's not even close. 7'2", 7'7" wingspan, perfect stats and badges. But again, let me just repeat that. 7'2", 7'7" wingspan. 6'9", 6'10", 6'9", 6'9", 6'9", 6'10", 6'10", 6'9", 6'9", 7 foot, but bad release, and 6'10". 7'2". Bol Bol is stupid. Not to mention, this base is elite. It's super fast base with Jared Allen. It's a little janky looking, I get it, but it's super fast with the best upper in the game and perfect SIGs. He is OP, legitimately OP. This card is one of the most overpowered cards in all of my team, and it's not even a debate between him and then the next best small forward in the game, especially if you're not including Giannis. So he's insane. Just an insanely top tier card, and I think this is a very, very fair list as a whole. So let me know what y'all think of the list in the comment section down below. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.